Hey guys, Marco here, back once again from MyColorScreen, the place where you want to come if you want to learn everything there is to know about Android customization, as well as learning how to create your own custom Android home screens. In today's video tutorial, I'll be taking things at a different approach. I've been reading through all those comments on that what you want to see from us video. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, check in the annotation over here. Basically what I'll be doing in this video is helping out the extreme beginners. What I mean by that is people that look at go into the MyColorScreen site, see an awesome looking home screen and say, well, how do I get that onto my phone? So I'll be going through all the different ways that you can get it from your computer onto your phone, different apps that you'll need, as well as setting up that Android home screen to get your phone looking a whole lot better. So if you're a complete beginner, I highly recommend watching this Android home screen tutorial. Let us begin. Great, so I decided to choose this amazing looking home screen by Semati titled FlatUI. As you can see, it's very flat and it looks really good. I decided to choose it just because it's a very simple setup. It's only got UCCW skins to do, but it'll still enable you to learn how to transfer files onto your phone, what apps will be most beneficial for you, as well as some other tips and tricks. So a little bit more about the screen. It's got all of your notifications here, your missed calls, your messages, your battery percentage, your weather over here, your quick jump to shortcuts. Say if you want to get to Google+, you can just jump it up like that. Or you got your most popular apps, your music, your Google search bar, little music here. Just by tapping it, will start playing music, whatever else you want. Looks really good. So if you'd like to learn how to recreate this home screen and learn a bit more about transferring files and learning a bit more about how to properly set up your Android phone, let us begin with today's tutorial. Great, as you can see, I've loaded up the MyColorScreen site and gone onto Semati's FlatUI page that's been loaded up right now. Now there are two locations where you can download the files from. Either on the right hand side here, as you can see, Semati's provided the wallpaper. So if I just open that in a new tab, all it'll be is basically just the wallpaper. Say if you only want the wallpaper and nothing else, that's what you'd go for. Now it is recommended that some people upload their files in this area, but it's not always like that. So the main place I'd highly recommend you to look is in the description beneath the phone image. As you can see, Semati's provided quite a bit of detail here, which is really good. But the one thing you definitely want to look out for is the file link that he has provided. So as you can see, it's just over here. So if I right click on this and then open it up in a new tab, it's also going to bring you to another Dropbox download link where all you'd want to select now is download, as now this will start downloading it for you by default into your download folder. As you can see, it's already downloading there. It's very small and shouldn't take too long. Now another thing I do recommend is that you download a good unzipping folder. You're welcome to use WinRAR, WinZip, or even 7Z, whatever your preferences are, as long as it gets to unzip a zip folder like the one that you see before you. I do highly recommend though getting WinRAR because it's free and it allows you to unzip. That has a .rar extension, which comes in quite handy as few of the files have that extension. So I'm just going to open this up now. As you can see, I've just downloaded it there, and I'm just going to right click on it and say extract to FlatUI. It's going to create a new folder. Just enlarged it here. As you can see, here is the folder. I'm just going to double click on it, and it hopefully should have all the different the necessary files required for you to set up your home screen. So I'm just going to go back now, as now I want to transfer this folder onto my phone. So I'm just going to plug in my phone right now. As you can see, or you probably just heard that little noise. So now it's the internal storage of my phone. That means that, well, that's pretty much just my phone. As you can see, if I look down here, Nexus 4. So I'm just going to double click on my internal storage. Other phones that have an SD card, make sure that it's just in your internal storage, just to make things a lot easier. So from here, just choose your preferred download for the folder where you want to copy it into. I'm just going to go for this pre-made one that I've already created here. And all I'm going to do now is just click on this one and then drag it into this area here and copy it onto my folder. Just make sure that it's been copied onto your phone. There it is right there. So all I have to do now is just unplug my phone, and there it is. It is now on my phone, ready for it to be set up. Great, so let's set up the screen, shall we? Few more apps that you're going to be needing. Obviously, first one will be UCCW to set up all these skins. Next will be Media Utilities, which will enable you to get all your music playing and appearing right there. A custom launcher such as Nova Launcher Prime, the one that I'll be using for this video. as well as a file explorer. I do recommend ES File Explorer. If I open it up here, as you can see, this will allow me to check what files I have on my phone for easy transferring of folders. One thing to take note is that once you've installed ES File Explorer, I'm guessing you can do this on other file explorers as well, but it comes with the second method of transferring files onto your phone, which I actually prefer and I tend to use quite often. If we say swipe across here, it brings it up into your network here, and if you select scan, if you've got Wi-Fi enabled or your LAN enabled or whatever enabled, it'll now bring up your different computers that you have on your network, where if you just find your own, you can just bring it up and then just find the folder there, hold down, select copy, and then copy it onto your phone's SD card. Makes things a little easier as there's no cables involved or whatever, but I do prefer this method. Also, the final method is to go into the mobile site, which is exactly the same as doing it on your desktop computer, except now you'll be doing it on your phone and you can save it directly onto your phone without any transfer needed, so just keep that in mind. If I have a closer look now, you can see that my FlatUI has been successfully copied onto my phone. It comes with all the necessary files, ready for this setup. So once you've got everything onto your phone and you've got all the apps installed, let's begin with the launcher settings. Great, so first thing you want to do is remove any icons or widgets that you have on your home screen. This makes things a lot easier later on. And from here, I'm just going to simply hold down on my home screen and select the little wrench there that'll bring up our Nova settings, which is where we'll be changing a few things. If we go into our desktop settings right here and then into our desktop grid, our first option there, I'm going to be selecting a 10x10 for my Nexus 4. It seemed to work out very well. However, on other devices, you might want to first leave it as a 10x10, and if it doesn't work out too well, then maybe increase the columns or the rows, whatever makes it easier for you. I'm just going to select OK now. Your margins you want to be on none, no margins there. Your search bar off. Your shadows you don't want to have any shadows. You want those to be off. Home screens, you want definitely 2 home screens. And if we go into our scroll settings here, our scroll, wallpaper scrolling, you want it to be on. Sometimes it doesn't work out too well, but I'll get to that later in the wallpaper section. Scrolling down a bit more, our label icons, you want that to be deselected. Resize all widgets, you do want selected, as well as widget overlap and overlap when placing. I always just leave these on no matter what screen I do. It just makes things a lot easier, especially if you run into a few troubles. So I'm just going to select back now. That's your desktop settings done. If we can go into our dock now, just going to be disabling that dock, so I just want that to be disabled. We're not needing a dock at all. Now we're going to go into our look and feel. A few things we want to change here, well, only one thing we want to change here is our notification bar. We want that to be disabled. Boom, do not need a notification bar. Going to select back now. You're welcome to turn on gestures and buttons. If I select it now, there isn't a physical app drawer icon, so you're welcome to make the home button the app drawer just by selecting the home button there and then just selecting app drawer like that. So just when you push your menu button or this little button over here, it'll bring up your app drawer quick and simple. If you do have the Prime version of Nova, great thing is that you can have your gestures enabled, such as swipe up to toggle the dock or whatever else to open up your app drawer, whatever your preferences are. That is your Nova settings complete. I'm gonna go back now, ready for this awesome looking wallpaper to be set up. Great, so for the wallpaper, very easy to do. We're just going to hold down on the home screen to select wallpapers now, and you can just simply go into your preferred gallery app. I always like to go for Quick Pick, makes things a lot easier and it is a lot quicker. I'm just going to bring up my FlatUI folder that I found here, and it's got that wallpaper that'll be necessary. Selecting it will bring it up. Now as you can see, because I've got 2 home screens and I've enabled wallpaper scrolling, it enables me to select the entire screen. A lot of people might have some hassle with wallpaper scrolling in that it'll just not scroll at all, whereby I recommend you trying out wallpaper wizardry, as when you can select it there, you can select an option saying scrollable and then stretch landscape, and then it'll stretch it out for you completely. So that should work out for you, but for now I'm just going to be selecting OK. It's going to set my wallpaper now quick and simple for me, and let's see how it looks. Boom, scrollable, and it looks very good. Now all we have to do is to add in those awesome looking UCCW skins. Great, so now we just need to add in those UCCW skins. However, you just need to change something in your Media Utilities app that you hopefully have on your phone. All you have to do now is get into your app drawer. You can just do that by, if you've selected your home button to open up your app drawer, then it'll be very easy to do. However, if you don't have an app drawer, just hold down on the home screen, select Nova Actions, and then select app drawer, and it'll just create one for you, just to make your life a lot easier. All you have to do now is find your Media Utilities app, select it, go into your menu or your settings, whatever phone you're using, it'll be different. So for Samsung phones, I guess you'll push a little menu button here, but for Nexus 4 guys, got the little buttons at the top. I'm going to select settings now, and scroll a little bit down as we come to app integration. Now this is extremely important, and I kind of recommend just selecting all of these as it makes your job in the future a whole lot easier. But one thing you want definitely selected, of course, is UCCW, and have that enabled. This will allow UCCW to listen for any songs playing and to play it through, I guess, or integrate it through media utilities, so you can have some songs playing through UCCW, which is pretty nifty. Another thing to take note is to make sure that if you've been using UCCW before and you might have not changed this, is to make sure that your lock widgets mode is off within UCCW. So all you'd have to do is open up the UCCW app, go into your menu here, and make sure that the lock widgets mode is off, as this will now enable you to edit all your UCCW skins, which is quite important. So I'm just going to now remove this, get rid of this app drawer here, as we don't really need it anymore. And I'm going to start by adding in the skins. Now it's very easy to do. As you can see, you just need to hold down or long press on the Android home screen, select widgets now, and from here you want to scroll all the way down till we see UCCW over here. Now as always, it doesn't really matter at all what size you go for, but let's make it a bit larger, as I'm going to be resizing it bigger anyway. Now what you'll see is I'll bring up the UCCW skins list, but we don't want to be selecting one of our predefined or pre-built ones. We want to add in a completely new one. So I'm going to be selecting user here in the top right hand corner, and what you want to do here is to now find that folder that you've copied onto your phone. I really hope that you copied onto your phone, otherwise you won't be able to set the screen up, and you want to be selecting that FlatUI folder that you've copied onto your phone. As you can see, it's got those UZIPs that you've copied onto your phone. Remember, don't try and extract these or unzip them or whatever else, just leave them alone. UCCW knows exactly what to do with these, as it always picks up a UZIP. So I'm going to be selecting the first one now. That'll be on our first page, so it's just going to import it for you, and it should bring up a little hand there. I'm just going to tap away, tap the hand, and Bob's your uncle, it has now appeared. I'm just going to hold down on it and select resize, just to get it looking a whole lot better. There we go. I like that. It looks very good. I'm going to get into editing it later, as now I just want to be adding in the rest of the UCCW skins. So exactly the same procedure. Choose whatever size. Go back into your user here. Select, say, number 2, as that'll be the one for the second part of the screen. Is going to now, I'm just going to tap it again, hold down, resize. As you can see, this is a very simple setup, but it looks really good at the same time. I actually might keep this for a while. I don't know, I really enjoy these kind of simple setups without too much complication. So I'm just going to do the exact same procedure here. I'm just going to cut away now, as all you'd have to be doing now is to add in 3 and 4 and doing exactly the same procedure as you did for the first page. Alright, welcome back guys. As you can see, I've just added in these 2 skins, very quick and easy to do. So now we have all the skins necessary. All we'd have to do now is to edit each one of these. So it's very simple. I'm going to start off with this first one here, which comes with the user little icon there. Now in order to change that user icon, we have to be doing some UCCW editing here, but don't be afraid, it's very easy to do. In order to change that image, we'll just have to select our edit objects button here, scroll down to the bottom where you can see image 2. Now if you always get confused which image is which, a little quick tip here is to select your alpha and then just change the alpha and see what becomes more or less transparent. As you can see, it's definitely that user icon, so we're good to go. We just have to select our image now, go into your preferred gallery app, and then find a user icon of your choice. Now you can choose whatever else you want. I just enjoyed this one here, but as you can see, it is massive. So I'm just going to select my scale now, so I'm going to scale it down so this looks a little bit better, and just scroll up to the top now and select position, just to get it in a good looking spot. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm just going to select close now, select back, and now this will bring me back into my main objects list over here. So the only thing left to do now is to change each one of the hotspots, and you'll be doing this for each one of the other skins. What hotspots enable you to do is to say, if you had to select a hotspot for the camera here, when you select it, it'll open up your camera, which is very helpful. So say for example, hotspot number 2, if I select it now, it shows me that it's gallery, that's that gallery little image there. I don't want it to open up my gallery, I want it to open up my own app or own app preference, and I want it to be quick pick. So I'm just going to be selecting hotspot now, selecting your app, and then selecting the quick pick app. So it has now been set for me. So all you'd have to do now is to change each one of the different hotspots to make it your preference, make it open up the app that you would want it. Otherwise, it'll not work out for you. So once you've done it for each one of the different widgets, I'm just going to be selecting, or go back into your editor, go back into your options here and select that lock widgets mode, and now you want it to be on, as now it'll configure it for you, and you can double check that it works just by selecting that one. As you can see, it has now brought up my gallery, or my quick pick actually, which I really enjoy. I did find a bug, however, in these UCCW skins. I'm not sure if it's a new thing, but you actually need to configure each one of the hotspots. Even if you already have that app, it just, I don't know, it doesn't really want to open up. So say you have to go into this other skin here, even if it says Twitter and you have your default Twitter client, you still have to go into your edit objects, hotspots, select any hotspots. As you can see, it's already been set up for Twitter. Then select your settings, lock widgets, and then say on. So without even changing each one of the hotspots, it'll now open up your, say, Google Plus, for example. That should help you guys. But in the end, this is your home screen complete. It looks simply fantastic. It's got pretty much all the apps that you would need, as well as some useful notifications, and even your own little user icon. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this extreme beginner tutorial. I hope you guys know a little bit more about copying files onto your phone. And don't worry, I'll still be getting into a completely updated UCCW tutorial complete guide, but that'll be coming later. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. This is Marco here from MyColorScreen. Don't forget to check out our Facebook, Google+, Twitter community and Instagram communities, as we always enjoy helping you guys out creating beautiful Android home screens. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. Marco here from MyColorScreen, and as always, don't stop customizing.